The title of this installation is Here La Maison. I showed that already one time bigger in a bigger space, so this is the smaller space. We are standing in front of these curtains, and this is an architecture made out of 8 colors. 8 colored curtains, and these are 8 colors after a psychological test developed by Max Lüscher in the 50s. And for me, this color architecture is that you can go around, and at one point you see the film I'm showing, and in the film there is also a traveling. Somehow it is the extension of your own movement. I mean, you're making this traveling before in this abstract colored space, and then you see the film, and this is also a traveling, but this is in black and white, and then you sit down and you see that there is a camera going through a castle and traveling a lot of tableau vivant like scenes. That means that there are people still in different positions, and there are different little narrations. There's not really one big narration in this film. And the title of the film is actually 8. And I mean, and 8, it's like the Möbius, like the endless sign, like the Möbius strip, but of course it's not. It's standing up, and the camera, the traveling of the camera, like the trace, what the camera is doing is this Möbius strip. And there is also, if you want, no beginning and end, because the last and the first image of the film is the same. And this is a painting from 1740, which is in this castle, and there you see the castle from outside. So the first image, you see little fishermen, and then the camera goes more and more, you see the whole castle, and then the camera goes away from this painting where you see the building where you're in from outside, and goes to the first position, and this is a woman who looks outside. So that was this inside outside thing as first, and then the second person you see, this is a young man who has, somehow you have this games when you're children with ribbons, but his ribbon is like a Möbius ribbon in his hand, and he's looking at it. And the third position, I'm not telling all the positions now, but the third position is somebody who is looking in the mirror, and he's pulling down his eye. What means in France, it means mon œil, and that means don't believe all. It's not all true what we are showing here. So, and for me with this film, it was the first thing what was new, that I filmed a tableau vivant with a traveling, that means with a steady camera, and before I filmed tableau vivants on a tripod, that means there was only one image of people not moving for the length of one short 60mm row, which is 2.5 minutes. So here it's longer, and it's and somehow the path is the length of the film. For this film, I was trying to develop like my own language more. I mean, like to repeat also a lot of things. There are a lot of things in this film I had in other films, and because I'm not only doing films, I'm also doing sculptures. And for example, I did sculptures with ribbons, dripping ribbons. So you see these ribbons in the film. You see. What do you see? And this, for example, this man lying on the sofa. I did this also as a performance in the Tate. This scene. So with this film, I was trying to develop my language, or to say these are my expressions, and I'm repeating them over and over again. Every position I choose, and for me, when I'm choosing a lot of different positions for this film, for me it works like a collage, but also like an open system. I mean, in one point it's not anymore an open system, because it's done and there is one after the other, and there is a time running, so there is a narration somehow. But for me, every position stands also for its own, and tells us another story, and also every position comes somehow from another century nearly. There is, for example, one woman with a mask in her hand, so this is the Greek muse for theater. Then afterwards there is, then later, for example, there is this man with a handkerchief on his head, and this is the only movement you see done by a human being. So this is the only moment you see that they are living and that they are alive, and this is the breath in the end. I mean, that what keeps us alive is what you see. Women, that is for me, that was the plan. I was doing the concept of the film, so I was collecting all kind of positions I'm interested in. I was drawing them, I was cutting them out, and I had this huge plan of the castle, so I was pulling them around and looking what is the nicest, and at one point I glued them on the plan, and that was the film. And I wanted to have this, somehow this, if you want, also like the theater in the theater, or the film in the film, the image in the image. So you have the concept, or the castle in the castle, the concept of the film in the film.